Without a good reference or a great reference for your face texture, especially if it's someone in real life like Kenny Omega or Jay White or something like that, you are setting yourself up, in my honest opinion, to fail. I am the friendly neighbourhood Mewmin, and I'm back once again with another video, and I've not done this for some time, so bear with me, it might be a little rusty. This is dubbed the Face Texture 101. Series of videos just going over how to create a face texture, but in detail, in depth. Well, I hope to do anyway. A series of videos, this is part 1, and we're going to go over what to look for in a reference, how to get a great reference, how to improve a texture that you've already got if you can't find a better reference, some little tips and tools on the way, and what apps and things you can use, and also pointers to other videos that may help you out in the future. It has been a while, it's been about 6 months since I've done some sort of upload, and this video is all about the reference. Now, without a good reference or a great reference for your face texture, especially if it's someone in real life like Kenny Omega or Jay White or something like that, you are setting yourself up, in my honest opinion, to fail, and you're not going to get very far with your face texture. It'll be frustrating, and you may try and give up. We'll get into the video in a moment. I'll show you some good parts, some bad parts, and what it looks like in game if you've got a really bad reference and texture to go through, and how that highlights in game. But if you do find this video interesting, if you new, why don't you give me a like and a subscribe? I'm going to be trying to uploading content once or twice a month, along with some streams. And you can get any of my content, any of my textures and stuff like that, by following me on Twitter. Okay, if you're on Twitter, just at me. You can get access to my Discord, where on my Discord I've got plenty of free stuff you can use, like logos, face textures, body textures, you name it, it is on there. If you do want to join in future streams, I do try and stream now once a month with the car review. So I'm inviting you to me just creating, but then I'll review your cars in the meantime, and we'll all have some laughs on the way. Everything will be linked in the description below, so you can go get them at the end of the video. But we're going to grab some capture from the PC and some games stuff now, and we'll look into it in a bit more detail, and we'll get into it now. So straight away, I've got a picture of this handsome chap. I think I know him from somewhere. You may have seen him before on a particular YouTube channel, wrestling, Twitter, something like that. Growing the beard out a bit. It's getting a bit grey down there as well. I might need to get some Just For Men or something. But this, although on first look, you may be thinking this is a decent texture, but I wouldn't say it is. Because there's some things you've got to contend with as a texture reference. Sorry, not texture. But first of all, you've got across the top here, there's some shading that's going to cause you some issues. Around the nose here, there's a big bright spot that's going to cost you some issues. And there is a little bit of darkness on one side of the face, so one side is a bit darker than the other. So that's because if you look at me now, I'm at the camera. The way I've got my camera set up is I've got a main light, and then I've got this other light that kind of casts a shadow, gives me a bit of definition. So there isn't even lighting. So one of the first things you do need to be looking at as a reference is the soft lighting. You need a really good reference for lighting in regards to it needs to be even. You don't want a dark patch or anything on your reference, because as you can see on this side of the face, you would struggle a little. Now, as a reference, I would say it is decent because it's front facing, quite equal. I'm not looking up or down or anything. I'm not slightly to the side, and overall you probably could use that with a few tips, but again, that's in a future video and I'll be able to show you that. Now, this one is much better because it is front facing. It is more even lighting, but there is some darker patches around here that we would need to contend with. And again, there's a lighter patch here under the eye, and there's a light patch here. However, we would be able to get away with this one as well as a reference. But in regards to references, what to look for, what you can do to get your own references of yourself, for example, I'm looking to have ring lights in here, so you could use that sort of lighting. Bathroom lighting seems to always be quite decent. Selfies, if you're taking a selfie in the bathroom, that might work for you. But what I've found as well, which is a really good option for good lighting, is just standing out in front of a window with the sunlight. Window filters the sunlight a little, so it's not glaring, but that does seem to work as well. You'd be surprised though how many times I do get, and the purpose of this video, the amount of times I do get people sending me a selfie for a face texture, and it just isn't that great to make a texture from. But I would say this one is pretty. You will be able to use this one probably. There's some dark patches at the top, but I'll show you in a future video of how we can, not such a great texture reference, how we can make it into a texture. Now I've done this texture here. It's a little wonky. There's some bright patches, and this just highlights in game what can happen. So in game, it's not blended to the face. I mean, I've overly lit things up on purpose and stuff because to highlight what it looks like in game if you don't have a decent reference. But these are the things you're going to contend with. So the reference had the dark patches on the eyes, got lighting, lighting, lighting. More dark patches here, dark patches here, dark patches here, and again, it's just not matched up to the default texture around the face. Now, that has caused a plethora of issues on the actual texture itself once it's in game. This area here, this area here, you've got this going on, this going on, this going on. It looks a mixture of a bit almost like a burn victim, and you just struggle. So you get to in game, you think you've done your texture, you get in game, and these are the sort of things you're going to be struggling with. And that's it really, because you're just highlighting if you don't have a decent reference, what happens in game and how much harder it is when you haven't got a decent reference. So we'll go back into just a bit of a close now, but these are all things to think about, and I'll give you some tips of where I personally would try and get some references for. So I hope you found that semi-useful, and if you don't, let me know in the comments. If you do, let me know in the comments. And again, thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you are new. Now, just to touch on some references stuff before I do wrap the video up properly. You'd be surprised, the reason I've done this video, you'd be surprised how many times people do ask me where am I going wrong. And sometimes when you look at the reference that has been used, that is where some people do go wrong. Again, I can't stress this enough. If you haven't got a good face texture reference, you are not going to have a good face texture, and no matter what tools and tips you use, you're not going to get anywhere. Personally, I do try to use wrestler social media, headshots on Google if you're doing random people, and other methods. But again, I'm going to put those in future videos. You might want to take a look at the 3-minute texture video, because that gives you a good reference to start off with, and you're making life easier for yourself. If you then want to take that texture you got in 3 minutes onto PC and edit it further. Again, if you do want to get any free textures, stuff like that, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord. Everything is going to be linked in the description below. Again, I'm going to try and be doing streams again on Twitch. Follow me over there. On Twitch, again, it's just about the community. I'm going to start creating my own universe, and at the same time just showing people how I go around creating. Everything that I do is mainly custom and not real life stuff, so that's your sort of gig at me. Without further ado though, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, do like and subscribe if you are new. On the friendly neighbourhood, Mewmin. Thanks for watching. I've just had sausages. I like a good sausage.